Hello, thank you, viewers, for joining us for another segment of Camera On with Authors Inside. Thanks for joining us this evening. Today, I got another one of my brothers in the journey, and I'm very excited about this interview. You'll learn about my boy. He's real. He's funny, and he's a real down to earth individual. But before we get started, can you hit the like button and subscribe to receive notification when we drop more segments? Go ahead. Introduce yourself to the viewers.
My name is Richie Tran, and thank you for having me today.
What's up,
Um,
Richard Tran? How you
Pleasure.
doing, bro?
Yeah, it's nice seeing you, Manuel. Um,
Good
yep,
seeing you too.
nice
It's
seeing
always
you.
good seeing you.
Yeah, yeah, yep.
Hey, can you
Yeah.
share with our viewers how long you was incarcerated, and can you share with us a little bit about your journey throughout your incarceration?
I was incarcerated from the age of 15 all the way until 39, so roughly 23 and a half, close to 24 years.
Mm,
I was originally sentenced to 31 years to life, and then I was resentenced under 1170, and I was released without parole, and I'm
okay.
very blessed to be here. Yeah.
Hey, Rich, what was your mindset those 23 years while you was incarcerated?
Well, there was a lot of hopelessness. There was a lot of hard headedness, and just um, just doing whatever it is that was expected of me, whatever I thought was right at the time. Um, Being a criminal and gang member, and that's the life I lived, the lifestyle, and that it was hard. A lot of situations were difficult, but deep down inside, I was, you know, to be honest, I was scared inside, but I always had to put up a front, you know, um,
Hmm.
and I was taught, and I always believed that, you know, it was a survival tactic, and I had to do whatever I felt to help me survive. So, you know,
Rich, can you share with our viewers what made you gravitate towards the gang lifestyle?
well, what gravitated me towards the gang lifestyle was my insecurities. I had very low self esteem. I had a very unhealthy need for attention and acceptance. So, I joined a gang just days after I turned 14, and you know, um, it continued. It started on the streets, and it continued all the way into juvenile hall, and then prison, and up until the point where I grew up, and I saw the the nonsense, you know, the hypocrisy of it,
Yes.
of the whole lifestyle. So
Yeah.
and
So,
once I came to terms with the type of person I chose not to be, and then you know I had to
That
move
was your,
forward with
that
my
was
life.
your that was your turning point right there, because that was going to be my next question. When
Oh,
did you
yeah.
decide to turn it around?
Well, it was for me. It was a gradual process. It wasn't like something overnight. It wasn't something like okay, you know, it took a while. So I can say for roughly the last 10 years, because I got out last year. So roughly around 2012, to me, that was my shift. I was able to, you know, make it down to a level three. I started opening my mind and my heart to to mentorships and people who trying to steer me and directing me into the right path. They and then fortunately I was able to like be open to that, because for years I was like, you know what, that's a waste of time. The only program I want is what gives me self gratification, whatever gets me like a keeps me happy at the end of the day, so yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Um, how long you been out now?
On the first will be 18 months. I got out April 1st last
April
year,
1st.
2022.
Okay,
Yeah, April
18
Fool's Day.
months. So
Yeah.
what has that been like, man, being out in society now after being incarcerated for 23 years since the age of 15? What is it like out here in society for you?
Well, for me, it's like a culture shock. Like prior to my incarceration, I'll be honest, I didn't know nothing. I didn't know how to drive. I didn't know how to open my own account. Nothing. You know, I was just a teenager living with my parents, running around the streets. So when I got out, you know, it was time to be an adult. It was time to do things adults do. You know, it took me a while to get my license. Um, Before that, I had to get my permit first. So that it took me a while. I procrastinated. Um, but once I got my permit, I got my license. Um, you know, I signed up for driving lessons. I've never driven a car. You know, so I was able to do that. Um, find a job, a meaningful job, a legit legal job. So you know, something that I can, um, you know, be a part of, and things I can find meaning in. And you know, just navigating the the life out here. You know, like,
Yeah, yeah,
well, I have two bank accounts. I have, you know, it, it's just so much to learn. But once you learn it, like, man, sometimes it can be that simple. But you know, in the beginning, it was very overwhelming. You know, I was stuck in a certain way. So, you know, with a lot of help, with friends and family, you know, I'm slowly getting myself together. You know, and
that's
I feel like
good,
I'm
man.
not there yet, but I'm making it. Yeah.
That's good, man. I'm happy for you. It's
Yeah.
like, man, that's crazy, man. We missed out. You missed out on a whole lot, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you're
Yeah.
saying, not knowing how to drive,
Yeah.
not having a bank account, just the simple, small little things that we missed out on by the choices
Yeah.
we made.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Man,
Yeah.
can you share with our viewers how your prison experience shaped your outlook on life?
So my prison experience, how it shaped my outlook on life. Well, being inside, you know, you are taught a certain way, right? You know, we were in California prison, so everything's racially segregated. You know, everything is um like it's very black and white. Sometimes there may be gray areas, but they're like, okay, this is how you're going to do things, how you're going to live your life. You know, you get that from, you know, who you affiliate with, your people, and then you get that from staff. You know, like correction officer, prison staff. You know, like so somebody is always telling you what to do, right? You know, there's a lack of independence. You know, there's a lack of your own thought. You can have thoughts, but how you express those thoughts, you know, it can make or break you. You know, you just sometimes, you know, back then I had to go with the flow. You know, even when I didn't agree with something, um, you know, I chose to just, you know, uh, take, you know, just go with the flow and take whatever happens. You know, so yeah. But then the outlook I got was like, okay, so this is very nonsense. Like everything that we were taught, I believe was a lie. You know, a lot of things that we were taught, and you know, not understanding a lot of things, and then starting realizing it uh, with time. As I got older, you know, that I guess that comes with maturity. You start realizing things like what's most important, who's most important in your life. You know, friends are very important to me. Like
Yeah,
they're like uh, they're like family to me. You know, I have very close friends that I consider family, and then there's my family who I love dearly, and um, it's just I started seeing things differently. Um,
definitely.
and
Cool,
then
cool.
yeah,
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 man, that's nice, man. Um,
yeah.
Rich, if you could say something to your 9-year-old self, or better yet, to a youngster who's out there hanging out with the wrong crowd, not listening to their parents, doing drugs or whatever, what would be your
Yeah.
message to that individual? Yeah, what would be your message to that individual?
To some youth right now, because we've been there. I've been there at such a young age. Um, you know, it's you're at you're going fast to nowhere. You know, like the gangbanging, um, like the hurting people, hurting yourself, hurting your families, hurting your community, and for what? You know, so it's not worth it. It's not right. Um, do you want to sacrifice your own life? Do you want to give? Do you want to like grow up in prison? Because that's where that person can be headed. Because um, I didn't understand a lot of things, and being 15, that was an excuse. I still got sentenced to 31 years to life. I still did close to 24 years. You know, and you know, everything you thought you knew, like, oh yeah, you you're gonna you're gonna learn one day, and I learned. So I would suggest like to really think about it, to listen to people that actually care about um our youth, and then uh, our people out here, our community. So
Yeah,
there's a life to live out here, and it's very beautiful. There's struggles, but a life out here is so much better than life in there. The horrors in there, it was a nightmare. It was a constant 24/7 nightmare.
and
So
speaking of hey, Rich, not to cut you off, and speaking of nightmare, what would you say was the craziest experience in prison? Was the craziest thing you saw, or you've been a part of, or what can you tell our viewers?
well, to be straightforward, well, I witnessed people getting killed, people getting stabbed, people getting hurt before my eyes, people walking around on stretchers. Sometimes they were dead. They one person had a sheet on them. The sheet fell. His arm like dropped, and it's sobering. And that's it's real. That's a real. It's a real thing in there,
Definitely.
and yeah, and then it kind of desensitizes you to the of being a human being, and
Yeah,
that's not something that you know anyone wants to see.
yeah.
So yeah, so yeah, like things can get real, and you know,
Yeah, and thank you, man, for sharing that, man. Thanks for giving us the raw, uncut truth because we want these youngsters to know, man, there's a whole nother world out there, man, that they ain't
yeah,
ready for. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. Um,
yeah.
one more question before we go. What type of strategies you think would be best to engage these average youth, to these youngsters? What do you think is the best way to get there to get them to wake up?
Well, communication, the dialogue is very important, but then for them to actually like connect with it, because
Yeah,
they can hear a story, um, but we also don't want them to go that route where it's too late. So some type of intervention where um, you know, they can visit some of this stuff.
yeah,
Like, but not like a scare straight program. That's kind of like extreme. But
yeah.
and not everyone can connect with that, and sometimes you can make things worse for people. So it just depends on the person. So I would say case by case basis. But
Mhm.
what you're doing, and as more people are sharing their stories,
Yeah,
uh, I hope that uh, people will be well, you know, reaching out to them, and they can hear it, at least you know at least one person,
yeah,
and then it trickles down, and then hopefully many can be reached. That's all I can say.
cool.
Like break the cycle,
Yeah,
and you know yeah,
thank you,
that's
man.
yeah. Thank you,
Oh,
bro.
oh, Rich, man. Thank you,
Yeah,
man. Thank you for joining us, man. I really appreciate it. Before we
yeah,
go, is
yeah.
there anything you'd like to say?
Just thank you. God
Man.
bless you, and I'll see you. Maybe I'll see you again in December. 'Cause,
Oh yeah, definitely. We
yeah,
definitely gonna link up, man, in December.
yeah,
Definitely, man.
yeah.
Hey man,
Well,
thanks for joining us. And if you want to come back anytime, man, just let us know. And
yeah,
and you got something in your heart you want to share, we'll make that happen.
yeah, yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich, man. Appreciate it. Camera off.
All right.